What's going on, y'all? So earlier, I was on here watching The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin go at it. It was during WrestleMania 2001, right? And a spirit just evoked me. Like I just got so happy watching them videos because it made me reminisce about my childhood and how much I was in love. I loved wrestling. I loved wrestling. Like I would come home every Monday night and every Thursday night to watch Monday Night Raw and watch SmackDown, Thursday Night SmackDown, man. And I would be so excited to see what was going on. I'm talking about that Attitude Era. The build up for each pay per view was just magical, phenomenal. They would like, and the promos they would cut for it. Even like the video packages they would have. Like for that 2001 WrestleMania, they had the Limp Bizkit song "My Way or the Highway" or something like that. And they would just show The Rock and Stone Cold giving each other's finishing moves. The Rock would give Stone Cold Steve Austin the people's elbow. Stone Cold would be giving the Rock the Stone Cold Stunner throughout the weeks. Like all this time, they would have all these fighting going on throughout the months before the pay-per-view. And it would just be amazing to watch for me. I remember I got put on to wrestling in like 98. I was 5 years old, right? And my older brother and my older cousin Bobo, my older brother Michael J, and my older cousin Bobo put me on. During the time I was going to school, I was living on 65th in Minerva. But my auntie and them was still living in the Robert Taylor Projects. So my cousin come get us when the school bus drop us off at John Farron. We would go up to the go up to their apartment and watch it Thursday night. And I would be in awe. And I would talk about it with the kids on the bus, and we all would be so excited for him. And I remember my mama had bought me a year worth magazine, WWF magazine subscription. And I was just super excited, man. And wrestling was just it was at its peak during that time period. I remember watching the Dudley Boys go at it with the Hardy Boys. Like, y'all remember them table ladders and chairs matches? Like, I don't think, like, today's kids, I hate to be that old head to say, y'all don't know what's going on now. This ain't nothing what y'all got going on. But I really wish that they would have saw that era. I mean, all they know is this era, so they appreciate it for what it was, what it is now. But that era of wrestling was just, like, unlike something I ever witnessed before. Like, everything, so everything leading up to that period, during that period, all the promos they would cut, the dang on charisma of every superstar, almost every superstar on the roster. The mid-carders were important. Like, you had guys like, Scotty 2 Hotty and Too Cool. Like, they gimmick was popular with Rikishi. That whole gimmick was dope. Rest in peace to Grandmaster Sexy, who the son of Jerry Lawler. I think his name is Brian Lawler was his name. He passed away, I believe, last year, something like that. But anyway, yeah, like you had mid-carders like holding fort. Like I remember watching D'Lo Brown and thought D'Lo was dope. His reign as European, the European title was dope. Like, y'all remember that? The Hardcore Championship was something phenomenal to just, people would be interested in watching people fight for these belts. The Intercontinental Championship held weight. Like, people was like, that Intercontinental belt, everybody had it that was like the belt that you had before becoming a champion. Like, everybody had the Intercontinental run, I believe. Everybody, for the most part, The Rock, Triple H. I don't know if Stone Cold had the Intercontinental belt. I know Edge had it before he became a big star. Like, all them guys had the Intercontinental belt. And it was just like, wrestling was just beautiful to watch. Like, the Sunday Night Heat. Listen, I watched a fight, a wrestling match where Stone Cold was commentating a match between Jeff Jarrett and The Rock. This was like, I believe, 98. This was right when The Rock just had made a face turn from being heel. Face is the good guy, heel's the bad guy. And the pop that The Rock got with the, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? That thing, come on, man. You got to be kidding me. And that version of The Rock was just so, that was just so powerful. Like, they had the sideburns. My man's had the Miami drug dealer Versace shirts with the jury on, with the shades on. Like, he was cocky, he was abrasive, and he was letting everybody know how good he was. Like, that Rock with the catchphrases, he had the best smack talk I ever seen in sports and entertainment at that period of my life, because I wasn't familiar with Muhammad Ali, or anything or anybody like that at that age. I was like 5 or 6 years old, so that was my introduction to having a sports character with bravado, and I loved it. You know what I mean? Stone Cold Steve Austin with the jackets that he would have on. I thought that type of stuff was just dope. You know what I mean? Stone Cold with the jacket. What he had, his little slogan. I'm gonna walk into the door. I gotta open the door up. You know what I mean? But anyway, he had the little 316 jacket on, everything like that. All of that, I will never forget it. I remember when the invade, like one of my favorite angles, some of my favorite angles that happened during wrestling. When the invasion occurred, ECW, WCW invasion. I thought that is one of the most underappreciated. Some people may not like it. I loved it because it introduced me to a whole nother group of wrestlers that I've never known before. Like I didn't grow up watching WCW and ECW, so I learned about that there was another Hardy Boy. A Dudley, Spike Dudley. I didn't know that the Dudleys were with ECW before coming to the WWF. I didn't know about Booker T. I didn't know about the Lance Storms. I didn't know about Rob Van Dam, who was phenomenal. I thought Rob Van Dam was he was so dope to me. That whole gimmick, the character was dope. His fighting style was amazing. I didn't know about like I said, the Booker T's. I didn't know about the Rhinos or nothing like that. That gore finishing move was dope to me. Like I didn't know about these individuals. So that whole WC, and then I love the underdog story. The WWF was going up against two rosters of individuals, and when the invasion happened, the characters from some of the wrestlers in the WWE went back to their old rosters. Stone Cold went back with ECW, or went with ECW, WCW, and Dudley Boys went back with ECW, and like oh man, I don't know, man. It's the fights that happened during that time, and the old school lumberjack matches when people be outside of the ring beating you up when you got pushed out of the ring. The falls count anywhere matches, backstage brawls, the 24/7 rule on a hardcore championship. Like anybody could get pinned anywhere. Like I remember watching that. Like all of that was just fun to me. I remember when I first watched the Hardy Boys, not the Hardy Boys, excuse me, the Hollies. Crash Holly, Bob Holly, and Molly Holly. I thought that tandem was dope. I thought Crash was dope, how he used to perform and come out with the scale, saying he was weighing in at 400 pounds allegedly. I thought that was cool. I thought Lita, Trish Stratus, and all the women, Jacqueline, Chyna used to wrestle men. Like that, I thought all of that was extremely dope. I loved Tajiri, how he would bite the poison mist. He bite whatever he had in his mouth and spray the mist in his face, spray the mist in people's face, and they act like they were blinded. The tarantula move he would do between the ropes. All of that, man. Like literally, I thought I was The Rock. I thought I was The Rock for real. Like my mama, my 8th birthday, my mama had The Rock on my cake, and I'm saying, can you smell what The Rock? What I say, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, I'm screaming into the top of my lungs, and I'm acting like I'm him. Like I really thought I was him, man. I really looked up to that man. He had all the girls liking him. He was nice looking. He was clean cut, and at that time I really didn't even know he was Samoan until later. But he had a skin tone like mine, so I was like gravitating to him. I didn't know he was half Samoan, half black. He's a black. His father's a black man. His mother is a Samoan woman. But yeah, like. That whole Attitude Era was special to me. And every time I watch a match from that, it gives me goosebumps, man. I remember this one time Stone Cold went in there and beat up like 20 people, 25 people, giving everybody the stun up, pouncing them. And stuff like that made me miss how wrestling was. Like, it seemed like all the storylines was dope for the most part. I remember Eddie Guerrero's run as WWE champion. I thought that was really, really dope to see that. I remember the Rock and Sock connection. I remember who else I remember? I remember when Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff came as general managers. I remember when The Rock went and fought the NWO, and it looked like Hulk Hogan and them crashed a whole, semi-truck into the hospital, the ambulance that The Rock was supposed to be in. I remember almost crying when I saw that because I thought they killed The Rock. You know, it just shows you how believable wrestling was. How everything you believed. I believed as a kid, I thought if The Rock saw Triple H or saw Stone Cold in a grocery store, they was going to fight on sight. That's how believable it was. And hold on, y'all. My Hell's Chicken just came. Thanks to my lovely girlfriend. Well, I appreciate so much. But yeah, like I really believe these fighters are gonna get it cracking in the middle of the store, man. But I think that I wish the kids could see that era, man. I really do. Because it's something that it made me fall in love with wrestling, man. I really did, and it made me not want to believe that wrestling was scripted. It made me not want to believe that it was scripted outcomes because it seemed so real from how well developed each storyline was. I keep saying that, but it was well thought out, man, and it came together brilliantly. And you had guys making heel turns at the right time, face turns at the right time. Nothing really seemed forced. And, like, man, I always think about, like, when Kurt Angle first came on the scene, when Brock Lesnar was beating up on The Rock, and I was just so mad, because I'm like, who is this dude? Keep coming out here, F5 in The Rock. Who is this dude? When Benoit, and I'm not going to talk about what Benoit did with his family, but in the ring, Benoit was entertaining, man. How he worked with The Rock and all of that. And I remember The Rock being so charismatic. It was a story that The Rock, when The Rock was cutting a promo, he was talking about Benoit. Benoit got mad in real life and wanted to fight The Rock because The Rock was just that good at embarrassing the heels, embarrassing guys he had beef with on the mic. And man, it's really something that's hard to explain. You gotta watch these things happen. I remember the whole story with whole Paul Bearer Undertaker thing and Kane and story of Kane. I thought Kane and Undertaker were real brothers. I thought Kane face was just burnt up terribly when I first, heard about the story of him. So that's how well they sold the storylines to the public, man. Our grown men were watching wrestling then, faithfully watching wrestling all the time because it was just that good. And I think now, when I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. I have the WWE game, the 2K18 joint on PS4, but I think now, if you look at it, wrestling, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. Just the verbiage between each other, the voices and stuff, it's just not the same. So I don't know, man. It's something is missing. Some magic is missing. I hope that Vince McMahon and them get it together, but so the kids can really feel the era. Maybe they do feel the era. Maybe I'm just speaking as an older guy speaking about my disappointment with it, but they probably do like it, man. I got the Harold's Chicken, man. It's time for me to get down. But yeah, man. Tell me some of y'all favorite moments during wrestling, man. I really would like to hear it. I'm tired of rambling. I done rambled for like 13 minutes now about how much I love these eras. I remember William Regal. Thought he was just such a goofball, just snobbish little dude. But man, I remember when I first found out who Ric Flair was, like all of that, like Rikishi run and all that. Like I thought, man, like I said, the mid-carders was popping in. The mid-carders, man. The APA. Dope tag teams and stables like the Nation of Dominations, the Ministry of Darkness. You had B.A. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, D-Generation X. You had y'all remember when Devon was Reverend Devon, he had Batista with him? The Evolution and Big Boss Man and all them type of people. Test. And God rest Test Soul and Big Boss Man. So they're no longer with us. They passed away, but amazing wrestlers, amazing entertainers, man. Dope. Edge and Christian. Oh man, I can only speak about it. Y'all gotta go check it out for yourself, man. Peace.